Hey guys, welcome back to Whitty's Gear Reviews. Just wanted to do a video. We're looking, right now we're sitting in October. Right now is the time that people start looking for Christmas. That being said, I want to introduce some things that would be great gifts, great stocking stuffers, great gift for dad, if dad's a outdoors guy, or brother, son. Anybody like that, if they're outdoorsy, if they like, just having a knife on them, a fixed blade, like to camp, anything like that, this is a quality knife for under 20 bucks. When you're looking at Christmas gifts, I'm not saying, a lot of times when you buy something under 20 bucks, it kind of seems like a cheap gift. I can promise you when somebody opens this up, they're not going to think it's cheap, especially if you know about the features and you can tell it to them like, oh, hey, this is this, whatever. We're going to get into this knife. It's just, it doesn't have a name, but if you look it up on Amazon, you're just going to look up Flissa 9-inch fixed blade knife, right? Let's jump into this and I'll kind of show you what we have. This is just a nice fixed blade knife. It's got a leather sheath. It's got your belt loop right there. You got a little retainer strap around here. And before we bust into it, I want to kind of go over what Flissa offers in this style knife. This is a wood handle. Right now, guys, this is $16.39. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't need another cheap knife. Wait till we get into it and we'll talk about the specs. Cheap knives, get on Amazon, find a really cheap knife, then start looking at the blade material and start looking at the heat treat. Yes, for 16 bucks you can buy a lot of cheap knives, but we're going to talk about this knife in particular. If you want G10 black handles with a black sheath, it's going to cost you a little bit more for the G10 handles. You're going to go up to $21.23. If you want green micarta handles with a black sheath, you're going to go up to $24.59. But for a traditionalist knife, if you're looking for something to put in people's stockings, white elephant, and you're trying to stay under 20 bucks, this is your gig right here. And I don't think anybody would be mad getting it. That's just part of the sheath from going in and out. But one thing you gotta love is the Kepart blade. Not to mention, if you can see it there, this is in D2. D2 steel. Which is not truly stainless, but there's enough stainless materials in there to make this very rust resistant, if that's the right word, which would make this decent for hunting, fishing, camping, just to have a fixed blade in any one of your vehicles, dirt biking, whatever. If somebody's used to having a fixed blade, this will do the job. This is not a thin fixed blade. That is a, fairly thick, full tang blade. But one thing I can tell you is the wood in the handle, there's no rough marks, there's no hot spots. That knife, there's no jimping on top, which that would be the only thing I think I would actually prefer just a little bit. But it's preference. Me, my thumb, my hands are a little bit bigger than normal, so a lot of times the jimping's way back here, and that's not where I feel comfortable in the hand. I feel more comfortable up here. So just keep that in mind. Is it necessary? No, it's not. You can reference on top of this knife just fine, and it's flat up top, so it doesn't really give you a hot spot. I'm pressing down pretty hard, if you can see there with my thumb, just to see if it feels uncomfortable if I was bearing down on this knife, and it doesn't. It's got good hardware, nice little lanyard hole there on the end. Also, a hole up at the front. You can see your sharpening tool there. Just a nice all around good design knife with a Scandi cut on the blade. And the only logo on there is their little emblem right there. But this is a good, solid knife. This is that kind of knife that if you bring out to the woods and you just happen to have to cut some kindling down, why not, right? You're looking at $16.39 for D2. Throw this in your bag, take it out to the woods and beat the living crap out of it and see if it earns that everyday spot in your bag. This is the most traditional kind of bushcraft knife that most people go to in D2 steel. One good thing about the D2 steel on this one is you're looking at a 61 to 63 HRC. Overall dimensions of this knife, it's 9 inches total with a 4.5 or 4.25 inch blade, which is about what you're going to get out there if you're looking at a Mora Garberg or a Mora Companion. And let's kind of pause for a second. I'm going to grab a Garberg and we're going to compare. Okay, so back in the day when these Garbergs came out, you're looking at about $98. I think right now you can get them $80, whatever, but that's still an $80 knife. So let's look at what we've got between the two. Right, a lot of similarities in the blade, except this one's a drop point, and this has more of that Kephart blade. And I mean, this one's a little bit thicker overall this way, but the blade lengths are almost identical. I would say the blade on this one's about 1/8 of an inch longer. The handles, about the same length there. But I do like the feel of this handle because you have that little knuckle stop there and on the back. And I've got pretty big hands and it's comfortable there. The Mora, you just have, the little bit there and on the back. But then you have the protruding pommel on the back, which this one doesn't. It's more rounded off. But a lot more expensive knife. Great knife, don't get me wrong. I've carried this one for a long time and will continue to carry it. This is my new one. But this, with that leather sheath. Now, the only drawback is, if you're a lefty like me, which I'm right-handed when it comes to pocket knives, I'm left-handed when it comes to fixed blades. Fixed blades are usually the thing that I need to be on my left-hand side. This one does not, but this is a standard sheath, right? I could probably get a nicer sheath made and throw this on my left side or toss it in a bag and then it doesn't really matter. But usually when I get out in the woods, I usually like to take my fixed blade out of my bag and put it on my hip. And I can get this one to do that. I just have to change out this sheath. But it's a decent leather sheath, guys. I mean, I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be pleather. I really did. It said leather in the listing, but I really thought it was going to be pleather. But that's a thick leather. I mean, that's not just junk, super thin leather. Now, this strap here, which is just a retainer strap, it's not super thick, but it's not thin. Just look at the thickness of the leather on the belt loop. And it's not horrible at all. For $16.39. But the knife itself is, I think, the ticket, and that's where the money's at. Or let me say lack of where the money's at, because for the cost of this knife, it is a really good knife for the cost. Just gonna see how sharp it is out of the box. I mean, that thing is super slicey. I mean, that is effortless. We could sit here and I have some razor blades that I don't think are that sharp. Guys, this is a $16 knife. Look at this. I mean, it's just shaving through here. Imagine if you were, any kind of feather sticking, filleting a fish, cutting a tomato. I mean, these are long cuts. Look at that. I mean, it's just, I'm getting them thin too. And that's cutting. That's not just skipping over the top. I don't know if you could see the real fine ones, but it sounded like it was just skipping over the top, but it was actually cutting fine little strands off. Some real fine ones. Come on, guys. I don't care who you are. You may have a lot of expensive, hey, more power to you if you're that guy that wants to show up in the camp and every chance you get, you're pulling out your Benchmade or, super expensive knife. Hey, great. They have them out there. I like them. I like to look at them. I just don't want to pay for them. I much rather be the guy that comes out with this that's not cleaning his blade and making sure he doesn't mess up his tip because it's a super expensive knife. I'm going to grab this thing out. I'm going to slice whatever I want to. I'm going to throw it back in there with whatever's on the blade, throw it back in there. I'm going to wipe it down. I mean, I take care of my blades, but I'm not going to baby this thing. Not at all. I'm going to beat it up and use it for what it's intended to. I'm not purposely going to destroy this knife. That's not my goal. My goal is to use it as hard as I need to use it and let it last. It's got a 90 degree spine. No problem for striking a furrow rod, guys. I mean, best deal on Amazon as far as I'm concerned for a fixed blade knife that you could do a lot with. Great steel. Like I said, 61 to 63 HRC, 9-inch total blade, 9-inch total overall, 4.5-inch blade, 90 degree spine, Scandi grind, wood handle, $16.39. For $16.39, if you want to talk crap about a knife, buy that for $16.39 and tell me you hate it. Some people will just out of spite, right? I get that. But I think deep down inside, they'll be like, you know what? I'm actually surprised. It's not a bad knife. Don't know how they could sell it that cheap with the materials. That's all I'm going to say about it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you're looking for a good gift for somebody, I will tell you right now, if my daughter, my son, my mom bought this for me for Christmas and gave it to me, stuck it in my stocking, and I pulled it out, they know Dad's going to start shaving hair off his arm. I would have been like, man, I appreciate it, guys. You shouldn't have. Because without knowing, I wouldn't have guessed that the knife is $16. The first thought in my head wasn't, this is a sub $20 knife. I could hand this to a lot of people and ask them, what do you think about this knife? Most people see the leather, feel how sharp the blade is, see the D2 stamped on it, and they're probably thinking, looking at the hardware, the fit, the finish, easily $50, $60. $16.39 unless you change the handle material. Anyways, guys, that's all we got. With Christmas coming up, we will do some other what do I think would be great stocking stuffers. Share this with your friends, guys. Everybody's looking for great gift ideas. This is a great gift idea. Even if you're gifting it to yourself, add it to your collection, throw it in your bag, take it out there, use it as it's intended to be used without fear of messing up a super expensive knife. Take it out, beat it up, and you're probably, after you take it out, beat it up, you know what you're probably going to do? Put it back in its sheath, and it'll live the fight another day, following the same routine. That blade's going to stay sharp for a while before you have to sharpen it yourself. Anyways, guys, still 3 ways to support the channel. Whitty's Gear, buy me a coffee, memberships. Do us a big favor. Like, share, subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel. I told you all about my goal. Would like to hit 3,000 subscribers by Christmas. The only way I can do that is if y'all help me make that possible. And I love each and every one of y'all for tuning in each video. Guys, great gift. Need I say any more? Do us a favor, like I said, like, share, subscribe. Love y'all. See you on the next one.